Hello, you beautiful soul. Welcome to today's video. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Gabby, and I am completely obsessed with books and all things literary. I love talking about books. I love reading books, as you can probably tell from the 4 stacks of books that I have right behind me. As you read from the title of this video, today we are going to be talking about libraries. Woo! No wooing? Okay. I know that this may seem like an odd topic because for so many of us, libraries are kind of obsolete or insignificant in our lives, but this is a problem, and this is the problem that I am trying to solve in this very video. Libraries have been on decline for a multitude of reasons and for a multitude of years, but it is our job as a community to help them be the cultural center point of our lives as they once were. Of course, with the help of government funding and the business that comes with communal interest in them. It is obvious that libraries were more of a part of our life when we were younger, but that is not the case anymore. My job is to help you guys see what an amazing light that libraries can be, especially in our adult years, but to also help you guys want to save libraries to help the next generation enjoy reading and enjoy the safe spaces that they can be. Before I get into the bulk of this video, it would be completely amiss if I did not give you guys the history of libraries so that we can better understand their impact on us and the journey they had to go through to get to contemporary libraries. So, on to the next chapter. About 5,000 years ago, libraries were created, but they weren't exactly how we think about libraries now. You see, in their earliest existence, there was actually no distinction between a library and a record room, or an archive. Libraries were essentially used as storage facilities for these clay tablets. These tablets had writings on them, and those writings were used for various purposes, such as dates, events, specific things that needed to be remembered, and they basically were the important documents of the time. They needed to be protected, which was the job of the library. The reason that these clay tablets needed to be so protected was because oftentimes they were destroyed because of many things like wars, human error, simple human error, but mostly it was just because of natural disasters, and so libraries needed to be the structure that kept them safe. An example of this would be in the town of Nippur in Babylon in the 3rd millennium BC. There was a temple that had rooms and rooms and rooms filled to the brim with clay tablets, literally just a temple devoted to housing these important documents. This seemed to be happening everywhere though, because in Egypt there was a bunch of tablets found because an Egyptian king in El Armana, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering these names, I'm just a girl, you know what I mean, just a girl from Miami, so I'm so sorry. I really hope I don't offend anybody by saying these names horribly wrong. But anyway, there was an Egyptian king that had over 25,000 clay tablets, like spread throughout his entire kingdom, just cause. This sort of role that libraries played was pretty present until circa 2500 to 250, that's wrong, 2250 BCE. That is when we started to see this kind of shift from casual storage to methodical categorization. We started to see these tablets being categorized by form, size, and content, meaning that the people that were working at the libraries were putting these tablets in certain places so that retrieving them would be a much easier and much more simple process, make the job for them a lot better. This sort of shift is kind of what is one of the contributing factors into what libraries are today. But another contributing factor was the idea of book collecting that actually originated in Greece. The absolutely infamous tragedian Euripides had a private collection of books, also known as a personal library. Isn't that crazy? Greece was lit too, because Greece is Greece. It was also in Athens during the 4th century BC that we started to see the schools of philosophy write texts on perishable items such as parchment. This is when the idea of copying texts took place, and that's just kind of where it originated. There is more that I could say about the history of libraries leading up to now, but the thing is that the history starts to spread out from location to location, so the timeline of libraries in Europe is not going to be the same as in Asia, as in America. So yeah, I think this is an appropriate amount of context to where the rest of the video is going to make a lot more sense, and it's going to be impactful just because you know the background of libraries. So with all the history in mind, let's go on to the next chapter. Since we talked about the rise, it is imperative that we talk about the fall. Probably because that's what this entire video is about. There are so many reasons that libraries have fallen into a decline, such as the internet making ebooks far more accessible than they ever have been, TikTok romanticizing literature and annotation and thrifting books. But there is no bigger reason that libraries are declining than a lack of funds from the government. I think it goes without saying that libraries nowadays are nothing like they once were, or at least they don't really have a place in our culture like they once did. Although this seems like common sense just because we're all living this experience, a lot of people are actually arguing to the contrary. There's an amazing article on the American Enterprise website by Samuel Abrams, not Samuel Adams like I initially thought. He essentially said, it would not be the case that the overwhelming majority of citizens rarely or never visit libraries if they were truly at the center of our lives. And that is one of the most true statements ever, because I've been doing so much research for this project, and it is clear that libraries are super important to a huge chunk of people. But a lot of people take that and fail to realize that they still are in decline. Although there are people that keep libraries alive, they still are declining, and we have to save them. A once extremely beautiful part of our culture is in serious danger of becoming obsolete. The reality is that many people, such as politicians and just people in charge of distributing funds, simply do not care about libraries. There is no better example of this than in Madison County, Mississippi. NBC News released a really enlightening video for me about Madison County, Mississippi. Essentially what happened was that there was a few LGBTQ plus characters on the cover of a few books. I think there was two fathers and a son on the cover of a book. And a lot of parents were really upset about this. And they were complaining so much to the government to get these books out of the libraries because they didn't want their kids to see other type of families. They complained so much until the governor finally gave an ultimatum to the library, and they said that you can either take out the LGBTQ plus character books, or you cannot receive $110,000 worth of funding. It is actually insane to think that $110,000 of funds, of cleaning supplies, of such is not going to be given to a library because of a few books that were offensive. This is just one example of how libraries truly are in the crossfire, you know? They're being targeted for no reason. In an article called Funding Closes Below Expectations for Libraries, so many librarians discuss their concern over the fact that they aren't getting the funds that they're used to getting, and they aren't getting the funds that are going to be reliable and needed to sustain libraries. I mean, this is a really big reason why so many people call them decrepit and dirty. I feel like I don't need to argue the fact that there's something to these places. These places are safe spaces for so many people. You know, this is where a lot of us spent our childhood, and if we don't do something to help them, it's not only going to hurt people that frequently go to libraries, it's going to hurt everybody. It's going to hurt people that you love. It's going to hurt marginalized people, which sends me into chapter 4. There is a major issue that people rarely discuss when regarding libraries. That issue being how many marginalized people use them and how much they get out of them. When you think about it, this seems self-explanatory, but I feel the need to explain it because a lot of people say, and a really main argument against libraries is that nobody really uses them anymore, which is half true, I will admit. But there is still a big chunk of people that get so much out of them. The library provides a huge range of services, from book rentals, obviously, to free movies, DVDs, to free computers and Wi-Fi access, to free tickets to go to a museum. Would it not make sense that a marginalized group of people would reap the benefits of said services? Just follow me here. Imagine that there's a person of color that happens to live in a town that is home to a lot of racism, and they are experiencing oppression every day. Imagine they can't really find a job and they're having trouble paying bills. Would it not make sense that said people would try and go to the library and use the free computers, the free Wi-Fi? Like, these are services that are greatly helping people of need. In my research, I found a really amazing source called Who Uses Libraries and What Do They Want from Them? And this source is sort of a book that gave a bunch of statistics about libraries. And one part of it that really stuck out to me was the statistics of who uses libraries. And the numbers are absolutely insane. I'll share them with you right now. If I can find it on my piece of paper. Okay. It said in the source that the majority of Black people, 92%, and Hispanic people, 86%, consider the free access to computer and the internet that libraries provide to be very important to the community, making them significantly more than whites, 72%, to say this. This means that thousands of people are reaping the benefits of the library, and they should be. I mean, to think of this survey that was given of what would they rank important in their community, these people said the free Wi-Fi and computer access, which is a lot more than people that aren't marginalized. I feel like it's really, really easy to forget about things like this because oftentimes people in power, most times people in power and people that are making decisions, especially about sacred spaces like these, are people that aren't oppressed, are people that wouldn't need free Wi-Fi and computer access. You know, it's a little bit concerning to me that a lot of people are really ready to let go of libraries, but it's evident. I mean, there's countless statistics. I'm gonna link all my sources in the description, so if you want, you can see the statistics for yourself. It's crazy. There are so many people that need libraries, and we just kind of forget about them because, yes, the overwhelming majority doesn't go to libraries, but there's still thousands that benefit from them. There's still thousands that would be at a detriment if they didn't have them. Libraries are falling apart, but they're still needed. So many people need them. I mean, if I haven't convinced you at this point that these places are worth saving, then just do your own research. I mean, think about the amount of people that this would affect negatively if they were taken away. Think about the people it would affect positively if they were given more funding, if they were promoted to be the amazing places that they are, if they were a part of our culture again. It would be amazing. It would be so much better for everyone. Everyone would be able to have the chance to be educated like they want to be able to use free services. This can seem very overwhelming, but we as a community can do so much. There's so much we can do. Hence chapter 5. I think I've made my point that if we don't help libraries now, they're gonna deteriorate even more until they're eventually gone. And I want to live in a world that loves libraries as much as I do. Like, libraries can do so much. You don't know the amount of people I see on a daily basis that say they want to start reading, but they don't want to spend $18 on a book every time they want to go to buy something. I have a solution for you. Libraries. I think people also forget that these places are free. You don't need to pay to be in them. You can study in them, you can sleep in them. To be honest, like, I've taken a nap at a library for sure. They can be a great help to you. They can be a great help to everybody. So here is a list of stuff you can do to help save them with me. First and foremost, you need to get a library card. It's free. It's literally a free library card. At the very least, even if you don't go that often, at the very least, when you see it, when you have that little piece of plastic on your keychain, it'll remind you, this is a place to go. This is a place that's worth my time. Do you know the amount of times that you'll try and clean out your wallet because it's really dirty and there's so much junk, and you see your library card and then you realize, I can go read. Like, that'd be great. Like, just get the library card. You know you want to. Second of all, just check out stuff. Check out books, check out movies, check out music. Like, they have so much to offer. I mean, I really don't know how it works in places that aren't Miami, but there's a absolutely beautiful art museum in Miami called the PAM. It's the Perez Art Museum, Miami, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I got free tickets. Because I had a library card, and I went to the library and I asked, do you guys have tickets to the PAM? They have tickets to the Frost Museum, if you don't know what that is. If you don't live in Miami, it is free, for free. Just because I had a library card, just because I asked. I would have paid $50 to go into that art museum. Thirdly, write to your local politicians, to your governors, to such people that are in charge of distributing money in your area. Write to them. There's literally, if you look online, there's like those copy and pasted texts that you can just spam send to people, because at the very least, then we'll get our voice out there. You know what I mean? We'll show these people that they need to start funding libraries again, funding them well, so that we can go to see that there are people that actually care. I do it quite a lot. They probably hate me by now, so please join the bandwagon. Next thing is donate if you can. You can donate money, you can donate books, depending on your local library. I typically tend to donate books. You know, that book you haven't picked up in 17 years? Why don't you declutter your house a little bit? You can give it to a library. I'm sure somebody would love it. Just a thought. If you can't donate anything, that is completely fine. I often can't either, but it's okay. And I'll tell you why. Because of steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 5. Just simply go there. Lastly, just simply go there. Have fun. Do you know how many events that libraries plan? You can like literally sign up for an email chain, and I get so many emails about like these super fun events. They often have free food. There's kids there. You can just check out books. Like, it's so fun. It's so fun. It's a really good time. So you can go. Support them. Show librarians that young people care. Old people care. Anyone cares. Also, if you go to these events, you can meet people like us that want to save libraries, and then we can just have a little cult. Like, that'd be so fun. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means absolutely the world to me and to book lovers everywhere, all across the country, all across the world. A world where libraries and literature is at the center of it is very, very possible. As a collective, we can do so much if we have a common goal. Remember that many people can move all the mountains, no matter how big, no matter how small. We can make change together. I know it can seem overwhelming, but we can do it if we all just band together and have fun. Every single source that I used for this video, which was a lot of sources, is going to be in the description box below. So if you feel really enticed, really compelled, I would recommend that you go to the description box and look at the sources. It was really, really enticing research. So if you want to, go for it. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I love you so freaking much, to the moon and back. You guys are my world. You guys are my everything. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.